music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called The Highwayman by the Highwaymen. And it starts out with this cool little almost muted guitar part. If you wanted to kind of follow those notes, you can start second on the A string, open D, second on the D, third on the D, fourth fret on the D, third fret on the D, second fret on the D, and then open D. Just kind of this cool little background idea of kind of that 2 0 2 3 4 3 2 0 2 0 2 3 4 3 2 0 2 0 2 3 4 3 2 0 2 0 2 3 4 3 2 0. And then you kind of hear this tag that where you can play open A, the first fret on the A, to lead into kind of our B minor chord to kind of start our verse. And if you wanted to back up that lick with a chord, actually you could back it up with a B minor chord. And the way you play B minor, normally you do first finger across the entire second fret. We'll talk about some easier options too. But then the second finger goes to the B on the third fret, third finger on the D fourth fret, and the pinky on the G string fourth fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Now you may also want to think about lifting off the pinky and making that a B minor 7 on the jazzier sound there. Or another way to play B minor 7, you can do first finger on the A second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the high E second fret, and kind of strum the A string to the high E string for a B minor 7. Or another option, or we'll be doing first finger on the A second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, and kind of strumming the A string to the high E string. That's almost a B minor, which is kind of a cool option there. And there's a couple strumming options you may want to think about through the tune actually. The timing is probably the weirdest thing on this tune. But you could kind of work it as almost kind of a 4 down count. Kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, B minor 2, 3, 4, B minor 2, 3, 4, B minor 2, 3, 4. And I'm kind of adding in a little bit of muting with the right hand. So downs might be kind of a cool, sneaky way to kind of work it. And I'm adding in a little bit of right hand muting. So I'm laying the flat of my right hand down on top of the saddle and kind of mute the quality. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So if you took the B minor and tried that a little bit, you have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. Or a cool variation of that you could use that would be kind of a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down might be kind of a cool option too. And then from that intro, then we'll be going into our verse part. And our verse starts on the B minor chord, but then we go to an A major chord. And the way you play A major, first finger goes to the D on the second fret, second finger on the G second fret, and third finger on the B string second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now, around A's in general, it can be kind of cool to lift off the third finger and make that an A suspended second, or you could add in the pinky on the B third for an A suspended chord and kind of say some things around the A chord. Or you may even dig on an A7 sus, where you do first finger on the D second, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. Might be kind of a cool option for the A too, especially if you're digging on that other B minor voice. You can kind of work this more around the bass notes and kind of leave the top top 2 strings on the third fret is kind of almost like a drone idea, kind of B minor to the A. And then from the A we'd be going to a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes to A on the second fret, second finger on the low E third fret, and third finger on the high E third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. Now you may also want to dig on putting the third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third, and kind of working that for your G major. And then from the G major we go back to our B minor, and then back to our A, and then there's a really quick hit on a G chord to a D chord, and we play D major. First finger goes to the G on the second fret, second finger on the high E second fret, and third finger on the B string third fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really happy. Now around D's in general, it can be kind of cool to lift off the second finger, always a dangerous finger to lift, and make that a D suspended second. Or you could add in the pinky on the high E third for a D suspended chord and kind of say some things around D's in general. And then from that D, we end up kind of on an A major at the very, very end. Now timing wise, it's a little weird. You'd have B minor for 2, A for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, G for 2, B minor for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then A for 2, and then a G for 1, D for 1, and then an A for 4. So I think that's the most interesting thing actually about this tune is where they're making the changes. So you might want to just try that with downs just to kind of get used to feeling that. Kind of that B minor for 2, A, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, B minor, 2, 3, A for 2, G, D, A for 2, 3, 4. Or if you're doing your strum patterns, some of those chords you may want to half and do just the down, down, up, on. And the one really weird place is where we got that A chord with kind of down, down, up, halving, and then your G chord for down, D for down. So that's a little weird. But all the way through that way, you'd have the B minor, down, up, A, down, down, up, G, down, up, B minor, down, down, up, A, down, up, G, D, A, down, down, up. You kind of dig on that. And then from there, then we'll be going into kind of our pre-chorus, chorus part, where we start on E minor. And the way you play E minor, first finger goes to the A string on the 2nd fret, second finger on the D 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, oh, the sad sounds of E minor. Now you may also want to add in the 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, and do that E minor 7 chord. And we kind of do our E minor for 2, and our B minor for 2, our A for 2, and then we go to a G for 4, and then we do a E minor for 2, B minor for 2, A for 2, and then we go back to our G for 4. So if we're kind of working that with the downs, you'd kind of have that E minor for 2, B minor for 2, A for 2, G, 2, 3, 4, E minor for 2, B minor for 2, A for 2, G, 2, 3, 4. Or if we're doing that with our strum pattern, we'd have the E minor, down, up, B minor, down, up, A, down, up, G, and from there we go to our B minor chord for 2, A for 2, but then we do that G for 1, A for 1, D for 4, and then we do G for 2, and then we end up on our A with our 4 at the very, very end. So we tried that with kind of that down idea. You'd have the B minor for 2, A for 2, G, A, D, 2, 3, 4, G for 2, A, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, or if we tried that with our strum pattern, we'd have the B minor, down, up, A, down, up, G, A, D, down, up, down, up, G, down, up, A, down, up, down, up, A, down, up, down. And then from there, then we'd be repeating all those parts, kind of going back to our first verse. Now, one other thing I think about adding to the song, though, is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down, of the down, down, up, down, up, you can throw in a bass note for the chord. B minor, you'd have the A for the bass. On the A, you'd have the A for the bass. On the G, you'd have low E for the bass. On the E minor, you'd have low E for the bass. And on the D, you'd have the D for the bass. So we tried applying that to kind of our verse form. The weird part is we've got that G, D, and you may just want to keep that as kind of just that down idea. So you have the B minor, down, up, A, down, up, down, G with the bass, down, up, B minor, down, up, down, up, A, down, up, G, that idea through our pre-chorus, we'd have the E minor, down, up, B minor, down, up, A, down, up, G, down, up, down, up, B minor, down, up, B minor, down, up, A, down, up, G, down, up, down. And if we try that idea through the chorus part, we have the B minor, down, up, A, down, up, G, A, D with the D bass, down, up, down, G with the bass, down, A with the A bass, down, up, down, A with the bass. Weird. I'm kind of, these names, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, I think you're really going to end up kind of feeling that whole thing. It's just kind of a one big verse chorus through that part. And then from there, then we repeat all of those. So we're back to our verse with the B minor, A, G, B minor, A, G, D, A, and then back through our pre-chorus part. So we got our E minor, B minor, minor, A, G, A, D, G, A, and then from that third verse chorus, then we go into kind of our bridge part. And our bridge is really all about this bass line where you can play open D, 4th fret on the A, 2nd fret on the A, open A, 3rd on the low E, 2nd fret on the low E, and then an open E, and then we kind of go back to 3rd on the low E, open A, and then open D, kind of through the bridge part. And so you can back that up with chords by starting on the D major chord, and then you may want to do this slick trick where you kind of take the pinky and go to the A string 4th fret to kind of add in that 4th fret on the A, and that's called a C sharp note on the A string, so we call that a D major chord with a C sharp in the bass, or D slash C sharp. So we would kind of work it that way, or you can back it up with an A major with a C sharp in the bass. By doing 1st finger over the D, G, and B strings, it's kind of like a little mini bar, and then 3rd finger on the A string 4th fret, kind of strumming just the A to the B string to kind of get the A slash C sharp. And then from there, then we go to our B minor chord, and then our A chord, and then our G major chord, and then for that F sharp note, the low E string 2nd fret note, you may want to back that up with a D sus slash F sharp, where you do 1st finger on the low E 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, and kind of working that for the D slash F sharp, or D sus slash F sharp. Or you could take your regular D shape and use your thumb to cover the low E 2nd fret. That works better for you. Or you could readjust your fingers into a D slash F sharp, or a D with an F sharp in the bass by doing 1st finger on the low E 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd, and the pinky on the B string 3rd. So you kind of want to find a way that kind of works for you, kind of run with it. And then from there, then we go into our E minor chord, and then we kind of do that G with kind of the down, down hit, and then we're back to our D. So a lot of those chords, especially in the bass line, are kind of working just the halving pattern. So we have kind of our D, down, up, A slash C sharp, down, up, B minor, down, up, A, down, up, G, down, D slash F sharp, down, B minor, the bass, down, down, G, down, A down, D with a D bass, down, down, kind of working it through the bridge. Or if you're kind of digging on the down idea, kind of the D for 2, A sharp for 2, or A, B minor for 2, A for 2, G for 2, D slash F sharp for 2, E minor 2, 3, 4, G for 1, A for 1, D for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from there, then we go into our last verse. So we're back to our B minor, A, G, B minor, A, G, D, A. Then we go into our next pre-chorus. So for E minor, B minor, A, G, E minor, B minor, A, G. And then from there, then we go into our last chorus. So our B minor, A, G, A, D, G, A. And then we kind of half that last A to go into our outro bridge. And then we're back to our D, A slash C sharp, B minor, A, G, D slash F sharp, B minor, and then our G, A, and then you'll hear this really quick hit from a D to an A to a D, kind of on that last outro bridge. But that's the basics of how you can strum along with the Highwayman by the Highwaymen. So good luck!